So, hello Shashank. Hi.
Hi.
Hi Shashank. It's really fantastic meeting you. I'm feeling really good right from the inside. So, we have been planning for this since a long time, and finally you are here. So, I'm really excited.
Same here, same here. So
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, Shashank. Let's get started. Obviously, so many people know you, but for the sake of audience, let's introduce yourself for one more time.
Okay, so hi everyone, whoever is watching this. I'm Shashank. I've been into security for almost 10 years now. I started at the age of 14, started with bug bounties. When I first heard about that, it's like you can get paid for finding security bugs. My first bug was in Google, followed by Facebook, Microsoft, and so on. So during it's like 2013 onwards,
Okay.
I almost tried to find bug in every platform which had a responsible disclosure program,
Okay.
and that's how it's like my expertise in security it's like started coming into effect and it became stronger.
Okay.
During my college time, I was working as a security engineer for Deriv,
Okay.
which is a it's like a, options trading company.
Mm-hmm.
So during my entire college time, as a part timer, I was working uh, into it's like securing their web applications, and I used to it's like manage their bug bounty program on HackerOne. Later on,
Wow.
after college, in 2019, um, I it's like I joined HackerOne. I left Deriv and joined HackerOne full time,
Okay.
and there I worked for almost 1.5 year, more than 1.5 year, as a security analyst. So my
Okay.
work was to uh, handle all the security reports reported by their platform.
Okay.
So that was my primary work there. During that time, it's like I noticed a lot of it's like Web3 companies getting hacked,
Oh.
and that's where my interest came in because I was mostly into web application and mobile application security.
Okay.
And I always loved crypto. So when I realized, it's like there is a, now, programmable blockchains are a thing where you can write smart contracts. So I
Okay.
started teaching myself smart contract, side by side, beside my job, I started teaching myself smart contract coding
Okay.
and understanding how smart contract works. And then, it's like I wanted to, figure out new technologies in Web3. So
Okay.
that time, it's like Avalanche, Polkadot, Solana was where a few hottest projects.
Oh.
So I started finding bugs in Polkadot and it's like Avalanche.
Okay.
That led me to a job at Avalanche.
Uh-huh.
I worked there for a few months as
Okay.
a security engineer during their IDO times,
Okay.
and gained it's like that was a great learning curve for me
Yes.
into Web3 security.
Okay.
And that's where I also noticed that there is a huge gap in this industry where
Ah.
nobody is building an automation product.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there are very few talents, and that's where the idea of my company came in. It's like later on, I left my job at HackerOne, and it's like I took a break for a few months, and then I realized like I should be doing this. So I wrote the initial draft of our product Solidity Scan, and
Okay.
it's like founded this company called Credshields, which does manual audits as well as it has an automation product.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into Web2 security, it's like Solidity Scan, you can, in simple words, you can understand is, it's like it's kind of Akunetics and Nessus for smart contracts. So it's
Mm-hmm.
an automation security project. You just add your product, it's like smart contracts, and you'll find vulnerabilities in it.
Okay.
So that's has been my journey for the last 10 years.
Oh, that's incredible, man. Just by listening to your introduction, I'm overwhelmed. So I don't know where to start and all. But let's start from somewhere. So
Yeah,
you have been into Web 2, Bug Bounty, and you
yeah,
have got into Web 3, and you have started your own company with the name Credshield,
yeah.
right? So how long has it been like you have started your company, Credshield?
It's more than 1 year. 1 year, I think it's 1 year, 3 months or something. More
One
than
year.
1 year.
Okay, so we'll talk about your company for sure. So you do have 10 years of extensive experience, you say. Okay.
Yeah.
So on your on your way to while you're shifting from Web 2 to Web 3. So even Web 3 is really new even now, right? So let us start to understand how can you define Web 3 when you say Web 3?
So see, it's like shift in technology. Like it's like Web 2 is generally considered. If you talk technically, then
Hmm.
Web 2 is considered with an architecture where you will see a database, you will see a backend, you will see front end
Yep.
APIs.
Yep.
It's like it's kind of centralized application where it's like, for
Yeah.
example, let's for example take Facebook
Hmm.
for an example. We use it, but we don't know what code is behind, how they are
Hmm.
tracking us, what they are doing, what database they are storing, what they are not storing,
Of
how
course.
they are utilizing those data, etc., etc.
We don't know.
So this was how it's like the web evolved. When we talk about Web 2, it's like these architectures came in.
Hmm.
But Web3 was very, very different. So if you see right now any smart contracts, it's like if you talk about smart contracts, especially,
Hmm.
the codes are public. There is like literally no database. Everything is on the blockchain.
Oh,
So all the data is on the blockchain, so it's verifiable. You can see what data is stored. It's
okay.
like how the code is working. Uh,
Okay.
if like I'll give you a very simple example. For example, you go to for example, a betting website and you are betting on something.
Hmm.
So you don't know. It's like, for example, it's like I create a Web 2 application which is betting. So
Hmm.
you flip a coin, and if it's heads,
Hmm.
it's like it's like you win or whatever. It's like normal concept.
Yeah.
uh, if you talk programmatically, then my actual backend code should be, like there is 50% chance that it should be
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
head or
There
it
should.
should be tails. But as it's like because the backend codes are not visible,
Yeah.
it's like you don't
You
know.
can tweak it.
Yeah, I can tweak it. Maybe
Yeah.
I can make heads with 70% chance and tails
Okay.
with
Okay.
30% chance, and there is no way to verify it.
Uh-huh.
But if you write a smart contract, it's the codes are visible, so you can vouch. Okay, it's like the application, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is saying, it's actually doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the huge difference. It's like with decentralized concept with
Yeah.
open source. It's like open source codes. It's
Mm-hmm.
more trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like it's more transparent.
Yeah.
Every data is public.
Okay.
So that's why there has been a shift moving to go towards Web3. So right now, if you go to any Web3 application,
Mm-hmm.
you may not even have to submit a email address, which is it's like email address or phone number. You can just use your MetaMask and
Yeah.
sign in with your Ethereum address and log into an Web3 application. It won't ask for more data. So
Yeah.
it's like there is privacy, there is ease of access,
Yeah.
and there is transparency. So that's how it's like Web3 is being considered as a successor of Web2. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's that's why it's called Web3, because it is being
Yeah.
considered as the successor of the
Yes, sir.
current architecture.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like.
So Web3 is decentralized, you are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were speaking about smart contracts,
Yeah.
and it is visible to everyone. Yeah, as you said. So since we are saying it has a contract,
Yeah.
that should be with everyone's involvement. Like everyone should know what is there in the contract,
Yeah.
basically, right? So other than smart contracts, what do you think blockchain can be used for?
I mean, see, it's like there are lots of uses of blockchain. One which we have always seen is the currency. It's like the first,
Okay,
the use of blockchain was peer-to-peer transactions, which is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
They
Yeah.
were the first one.
Hmm.
Then, it's like when Vitalik came up with his idea, why not make it a programmable blockchain?
Hmm.
So now you can host codes on a blockchain. So see, blockchain is the core concept, and
Hmm.
on top of that, a lot of things have been built. So initially it was just a peer-to-peer transaction.
Yeah.
Now it's programmable blockchain. Now, when you talk about programmable blockchains, it has various use cases like the NFTs have coming up. It's like it's like you can sell your digital artworks, and then it's like you can create your own currencies. You can create your own utility tokens. It's like there are thousands of it's like cases where you can use. It's like everything which exists out there in Web 2, they can be transferred into Web 3, and that is actually happening. You can see, it's like things that those things are happening. It's like there is a shift.
Yeah.
People are building kind of similar products what used to exist in Web 2. Now they are being transformed into Web 3 with more, it's like decentralization and everything.
Yeah, there has been tremendous transformation we can see, but it is still new. We
Yeah.
can see it's evolving. That's a proper
So
word, I think. Okay, it's evolving. So how long can it go? Like, can you just can you even imagine how long can it
that would be I mean, it's a personal opinion. I don't
go?
have hard facts to support. What my belief is like, it's like the major, if you talk about Web 2, the major shift started happening in, it's like maybe 15 years. It's like web did exist, but the advancement of Web 2 happened between, you can say, 2000 to
Yeah,
now.
sure, sure.
So yeah, I mean, it's like that. That is a long time. It's like slowly and slowly it will go on, and it will go on for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of
After 10,
time. It
15
looks
years,
like.
it would be like what Web 2 has achieved right now.
Hmm.
It's like things will be achievable at Web 3. It's like at a different scale that time. So
Okay,
I'm
so
talking about the max out. you
yeah,
know I think it will
so
keep
you're
it.
saying people can become adaptive for this.
Yes, exactly.
So, so do you think isn't this confusing? What do you think?
No, see, it's like let me explain you this way.
Okay.
If you talk to your, it's like people say it's like blockchain can be complex, smart contracts can be complex.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone can understand smart
Mm.
contract codes, and how does it make sense even if
Yeah.
it's it's open source. Then let me explain you this way, which is my understanding. So if
Okay.
you talk to your father,
Yeah.
father or mother, they have no idea what programming languages are because it didn't exist during that time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very hard for them to adapt.
Yeah.
But if next generations coming up,
Next generation.
it's like now even like 7-year-old, 6-year-old
Yeah.
knows what an
They
HTML
understand it.
code is, how web
Absolutely.
application works, how to interact with it.
Yeah.
So right now, it's like if we talk about this generation, there are a few people who find, it's like there are a majority of people who would find, creating wallets and MetaMask account, and it's like
Yeah.
you're doing a blockchain transaction complex. But maybe after next generation, this would be a very common thing, and
Okay.
adaptability would be easier than, it's like that has always been the case. Like, right now, if you go to a 3-year-old, they know how to operate a mobile phone. Like
Yeah.
my
True
my
that. True that.
my niece actually knows how to operate a mobile phone at the age of 2. So, but my dad was struggling
Yes.
in his 50s, how to
True.
use
True.
a phone. So
True.
this is a generation
Generation
gap.
gap.
When
Yeah.
when you get exposure to technologies,
Yeah.
you adapt. So
Yeah.
that's how, it's like initially it looks like, okay, this is complex and nobody will use it, but come on, the next generation will be faster. So definitely
Okay.
they'll take over.
So that's what you think, and that's a really good approach. The way you spoke about it. But I do have an analogy. Just it just it is
Sure.
striking my mind. I'll tell you. See, when there has been a note ban in India, so no one knows the digital transaction.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone understood the thing. The people will become adaptive. Right. So and Shashank, you were a bug hunter in Web2,
Yeah.
and you have found bugs in Web3 as well in the past.
Yes.
Okay, and you have built a product on that on top of it. So how different is it to find bugs in Web3 when compared to Web2?
Well, see, it's like if you have been into core security, like, it's
Hmm.
like conceptual way, it's
Hmm.
like if you understand security at conceptual level, it is not a big deal. It's like so it's like for me it is, for me it's in a very simple language. It is yet another framework which you
Okay,
need to understand. Yet
okay,
another framework which you need to understand.
okay.
There are set of vulnerabilities, which is, such like in Web 2 you have OWASP, in Web 3 you have SWC Registry.
Oh,
So then, it's like you learn them. And if you talk about differences, see, Web 2 was mostly black box. It's
hmm.
like mostly, it's like when you are doing bug hunting, or you are doing a pen
Pen
test,
testing. Yeah,
until unless you are a part of internal organization,
yeah.
it's never a white, it's like it's like source code audit. It's
Yes,
mostly
yes.
like black box. It's not
Yeah,
white box audit.
yeah.
It can be gray box, it can be black box. That
Hmm.
was like 99% of the cases, maybe 90% plus cases in Web 2.
Yeah.
But in Web 3, it's almost like 99.99 of, I mean, it's like these days I've never seen someone asking a smart contract whose code is not public to be audited, because
Okay.
people don't want to even interact with a smart contract whose code are not public.
Okay.
So it's, for
White
an
box,
organization, it's
simply.
complete white box. You have
Yes.
to go through the source code.
Okay.
You have to create your local deployment. You have to find the bugs. You have to validate the bugs, and it all happens, with with an aid of the source code.
Yeah.
Coming back to your question, it's like how, it's like different it is. So if you understand the conceptual like code level in Web 2, it's very easy to migrate to Web 3.
Okay.
It's all about reading the code, understanding the code,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the business logic, and
Uh-huh.
finding the bugs. That's it.
I have an interesting question for you then regarding this. See, now when you talk about bug bounty in Web 2, okay, I mean it's getting more and more automated.
Yeah,
So people are using a lot of tools over there.
yeah.
So I don't think many of them know source code review, even in Web 2. Okay. But you are speaking about source code review in Web 3. So how it is going to be for them? Isn't it tough for them?
Uh, See again, that's depends, because even in Web2 security, when I was learning, so
Mm-hmm.
initially, it's like I told you, I started at a very early age,
Yeah.
and then I realized, it's like I had few blockers because I did my concepts for programming language was not great initially. It's like
Okay.
age of 14, you don't know a lot of
Of course.
programming language,
Of
right?
course.
So for me, it was mostly, it's like I learned some methods initially that, okay, it's like if you add a quotation mark, it will throw SQL error, so it's an
Yeah.
SQL injection. But then when I realized that, my there is a limitation with, copy pasting payloads and just, copying methodologies, you'll be limited. So I started learning to code in Web 2 as well. I
Okay.
created a small application which interacted with a MongoDB database,
Okay.
etc. Created a backend API. So
Nice.
when I started coding, I could understand, why those things were happening.
Okay.
So, it's like if someone is truly in Web2 security, they should be doing that as well, because you cannot
Okay.
simply just, it's like fuzz the parameter and find bugs. Uh, Even if you fuzz, even if you are doing black box pen test, if you have an idea how a web application works, it's like what kind of errors they throw, what configurational errors are there from the developer side. If you
Mm-hmm.
have been that part,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it's easier for you to, it's like when you fuzz and when you see the error results, it's easy for you as well to guess, it's like if there is a bug or not, or maybe there can be a bypass or something like that. So if you see, it's like most of the good hunters, they do have, it's like some idea of programming, and it's like how the web
Yeah.
application works.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the reason, it's like if you have done that sincerely in Web 2, Web 3 should not be a problem.
Okay. So you suggest people to understand the backend.
Yes, yes,
So kind of I mean, try doing a source code review as well if you wanted to get into web.
yeah.
So if it doesn't go well, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at some point you have to learn, because yes, I agree. You can do bug bounties without the much knowledge of programming. Maybe you
Programming.
can
Yeah.
just do recons, find sensitive files, subdomain takeovers, etc., etc. But that is, it's like that is, it's like a limited knowledge.
Uh-huh.
If you want to find, it's like I've seen there are bug hunters who have different focus. One who is very good with recon, they
Yeah.
will find, hidden subdomains, and
Yeah.
it's like they'll find sensitive files, they have a good word list, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. Good, but it's like but that will only work in bug bounties. Like even if in Web 2, if you need a job, if you're working, applying for a job, the
Yeah.
companies would expect you to, it's like work on the core business logic as well, like
Mm.
what application they have built, what business logic they have, and find
True.
vulnerabilities in the core application as well.
True.
So mostly if you have worked with a company, or if you have worked as a pen tester,
Hmm.
this should not be a big deal for you. It's like getting into Web3. It's just, reading some more documentation, understanding blockchain,
Okay.
and then, it's like yes, I mean, it's like it's not that easy. It efforts, but there is nothing, there is no rocket science. It's like in Web 2,
Okay.
like
Uh-huh.
if you want to move from Web 2 to Web 3,
Uh,
there's no rocket science that you have to entirely change something. The
okay.
approach remains the same. It's
Hmm.
just you have to, it's like work on a different architecture. That's it.
Okay. So you are saying it is not that tough if you focus and you are really strong with your basics. right? So
Exactly.
even if someone is really strong in their basics,
Yeah.
okay. So listening all these buzzwords like NFTs and cryptos and all, and you've told you were into options trading company, right?
Yeah.
And okay, we'll talk about that one also. So I do have that in my mind. So where can someone start to get into Web3 if he knows he is good at Web2 and
Okay, so my recommendations, it's like how, it's like I started and in my company when I train people from Web 2 to Web 3,
mm,
there are certain things which is common which I ask them to do.
hmm.
So the first and the foremost thing is, it's like I ask them to do, it's like basics of Solidity programming and
Solidity programming,
yeah,
okay?
Solidity programming. I asked them to write very simple smart contracts, and there is a very beautiful website for that. I mean, if you don't mind, I can present my screen and show you.
Please.
Uh, So yeah, I mean, so if you want to learn, it's like Solidity programming, I
Okay.
think this is the best way to start. Crypto Zombies, it's a website
Oh,
where it's like it's a kind of story mode where you are building zombies,
oh,
and it's a fun way to learn, and it won't bore you out.
of course.
So when you start a course, it's like you'll have these things and
Okay.
making a zombie factory, then zombie attack the victim. So this is a story mode where
Okay.
you write the codes, and it's a
It's like
fun
a
way of,
game.
yeah. So it's like a game, but
Uh-huh.
you have to it's like write the code. So the first thing I recommend to anyone is to it's like solve the crypto zombies, but
Okay.
this is just very basic Solidity.
Okay.
It's a great start so that it's like you don't find it difficult.
Okay.
Uh,
Sure.
Solidity, for example. Next, what I suggest is, it's like this is a bit advanced,
Okay.
but is very, it's like good. It's a so they have Solidity by example .org.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is like, it's like for every topic, they have, it's like they have a example code.
Okay.
So how I suggest doing this is, it's like what is suggested in Web 2 as well. You
Mm-hmm.
just don't read the codes. It's like you
Okay.
write them.
Mm-hmm.
You actually write them. So you read them first and then you write them.
Okay.
And once you have, it's like once you are done with, it's like all these,
Mm-hmm.
what I suggest is, it's like you go ahead and then and write some just fun contracts for yourself. Maybe it's like maybe just any contract. It's like write a lottery contract, or maybe create your own NFT, or launch your own token, or just build anything small.
Okay.
Once you have, so that you have an idea how to use these things. So
Okay.
this is the first step which I suggest. You brush up your it's like Solidity language, it's like
Okay.
skills. Once you are done with it's like the Solidity programming basics and advanced,
Okay.
the next step which I have always followed, even for Web 2, is start reading.
Reading.
So if it's like if you see, there are actually tons of materials in Web 3
Mm-hmm.
uh, related to security.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being that is, it's like and it will eventually have more data than Web 2. The reason behind that is, like, any company, any smart contract which is launched, they are supposed to have their first the code public.
Okay.
Second, an audit report by a company.
Okay.
So if we publish our audit reports, and any Web3 security company will publish an audit report.
Okay.
Without that, the community will never accept a project.
Okay.
That's a trend. That's a common norm in Web3,
Mm-hmm.
that there has to be an audit report.
Okay.
So this is so amazing. You have free resources to learn. I mean, what can be more easier than that? That you have a source code and
Okay.
you have a corresponding audit report to it. So you can just refer to the audit report, refer to the source code,
Mm.
and then you can learn, it's like what others found, and it's like that's it's like the best thing to do. So I'll share my screen again.
Sure.
Um, so I mean, it's like for example, what you can do is SWC Registry. So this is it's like once you are done with your programming language practices,
Okay.
what you can do is, like, you can start with SW3 Registry. So it's kind of OWASP uh,
Okay. For
for
Web3.
yes. So you can see it's like they have an numbering SWC 100, which is functional default visibility, then
Ah,
in
yeah.
feature overflow and underflow. So it's a very great website, although
Ah,
it's a bit outdated because it has not been updated for a while, but
oh,
still a very good start.
okay.
So what you can do is, it's like you can pick, it's like any topic,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then just load, no, not this one. So if you pick any topic, you can see it's like its title, its description is there, its fix is there, its references are there, and then
Wow.
you have sample vulnerable codes. You can see a lot of sample vulnerable codes.
Awesome. Awesome.
So this, sorry. So this is a great way to, it's like get with, at least basic Web3, smart contract security vulnerabilities, where, you talk about reentrancy, and you have, it's like, you have multiple example files.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go through them, you will have a basic idea of common vulnerabilities.
Sure.
So then I think the third step would be to go through SWC registry,
Awesome.
and then this is the basic. Then to cover advanced levels,
Mm.
see, there is no hard limit to that.
Okay.
Even in Web2 till today, I read others report. I read public reports on HackerOne, or
Oh,
people when they push their blogs. So there is no hard limit. You have to keep on reading to keep
yeah.
your knowledge updated.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like what we also do is like we have also generated a very a great resource on our blog. So
Yeah.
if you see, it's like we almost uh, in a week we write 2 blogs where we explain about hack. So our security team at Credshields, what they do is, it's like whenever a hack happens, like you can see this happened on 17th March.
But
So
I think you have updated it just now.
sorry.
This article has been published just now.
Yeah, this article has published just now. Yeah, so it's like as I informed, it's like every every week at least 2, it's like hack analysis we do.
Yeah.
This 17th March, this hack happened, and we published it on 21st March. So what
Super.
our team does is like, see, this hack happened on 17th March.
Yeah.
So our team will pick it up and do the research, and it's like
Analysis.
understand how the hack happened,
Okay.
and then we convert it into a blog, and then it's like we publish it. So
Okay.
I mean, it's like this is one of the great examples.
Of course, this is also a great resource.
Yeah,
Can't deny the fact.
we have almost like 50, I think 60 now. So
Okay.
60. So I mean, it's like if you read about these it's like attacks which actually happened,
In the
and
real life.
it's like you read the hack analysis of that,
Yeah.
you get a very good idea, it's like how it's like how smart contracts are exploited, what kind of bugs are there, and how the bugs are exploited, etc., etc. Then
Okay.
the next thing what I would suggest is which needs more effort, because see, this is completely spoon feeding, everything is explained to you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But if you want to go for it's like advanced knowledge as well, what I would suggest is it's like go for it's like audit reports. So
Oh.
every company, if you see, it's like they will publish their audit reports, whatever smart contracts they have audited. So these contracts have been audited by our company, and it's like we publish their it's like we publish their audit report. So for
Okay.
example, it's like this will be the audit report. So if you go to the bug report section,
Mm-hmm.
you can see it's like that's on the very bottom page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there will be bugs in that.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it's like there are bug reports here. So this is again, it's like you can find like even let's talk about company.
Page audit.
So you can see, it's like every company does that. Like any Web3 security company, if you see,
Uh-huh.
they will have their audit reports, and you can pick
Published.
one of them, and then refer it to their it's like what do you say? I mean, refer it to their code base, and then it's like some extra work, refer to the snippets and check how it has been fixed. So
Okay.
here you need some additional efforts, but
Lot
it's
of
like
lot of R&D. Lot of R&D.
a lot of research, but yes, that's how it will work.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's like that's the process, and the best way to learn is it's like to be actually doing it. So
Oh.
if you want to do bug bounties, I would suggest it's like this is a very nice company called Unify. You can say it's a hacker one for Web3.
Yeah.
So you can see.
I think
Uh,
code arena is also one
yeah,
of them.
code for arena is also there. You can participate in that. And if you want to do bug bounties, it's like uh, Immunify has a great list of it's like responsible disclosure
Yeah.
programs with bug
Yeah.
bounties.
Okay.
So you can start actually going through their code base, and it's like even code for arena is code for it's like, and code for arena is also good for learning as well. It's like you can go to their repositories and it's like look into their findings.
Yeah.
So after every it's like project is done, uh, all the bugs are published to
Published.
a
Yeah.
public repository. So you can it's like when you participate, you can also then when the bugs are published, like what all bugs you found, what all bugs were missed by you,
Okay.
and and so on. That's a very nice learning curve.
Of
So I
course. Of
think
course.
that's it. I mean, see, security has always been about research. I mean, it's not it's like ninth grade mathematics that
Yeah.
you solve a few two books and then you are done with your exams. No, this is a live environment, so you have to keep learning, you have to keep reading, and there is never a particular set of like things you can do. It's a particular set of things just will give you an initial start,
Yeah.
but it's all about it's like continuous efforts, continuous it's like reading, continuous working, and that's how you gain your skills.
So Shashank, you have shown us the roadmap simply.
Yeah,
I can tell you. Okay.
yeah,
So we'll come back from the basics. Okay. When you say blockchain, it is a
yeah.
decentralized. Okay. When you and you're talking more about smart contracts, right? So to understand smart contracts, okay, you have to. I mean, what I think is you have to understand DeFi, decentralized finance. So isn't this really clear that you should know finance as well?
See, let me correct you here.
Mm-hmm.
Smart contracts, it's like there are different applications of smart contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, it can be an NFT, it can be a DeFi, it can be a token contract, it can be anything. Okay,
Any
so DeFi
contract.
is one major subset of it's like having a
Okay.
smart contract.
Okay.
So let me correct the order for you. So
Uh-huh.
how it will work is it's like suppose it's like you want to work on EVM chains. So
Mm.
there are a lot of L1 chains and L2 chains which is based on EVM. So
Okay.
EVM is Ethereum virtual machine.
Yeah.
So how that works is it's like an EVM. It's like for example, Ethereum is the main one. Then
Yeah.
Binance, Polygon, Avalanche. They're all EVM based.
Okay.
So uh, the best way to do is like read the it's like their white papers.
Mhm.
Even it's like if you talk about Avalanche has some different concepts than, but it uses the same same it's like base EVM it's like it uses. So it's like how it works is it's like you should there is something called Ethereum yellow paper.
Yeah.
You should read that. It's a very good thing. So
Yeah.
basically my idea here is you should know how Ethereum chain works. It's like how it's like now mining is not there, but yeah, how staking works.
Okay.
It's like how transactions happen in
Mm.
it's like Ethereum, how it goes to the pool, how transactions are confirmed,
Mm-hmm.
how chains are synced.
Mm.
So if you know these things, you will have an it's like basic idea how Ethereum works.
Yeah.
And these smart contracts are written on top of those chains. It's like it interacts with the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's like if you convert in Web2 language, how it will be is um, it's like you need to understand how backend works, right?
Oh,
It's like how backend coding works. So you should know how Ethereum works.
okay.
And for example, if you want to do it's like Solana audits, so
Yeah.
Solana has a very different. They have a renting system.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to know it's like how renting works in Solana, how it's like storage works in Solana, etc., etc.
Okay.
So once you know that, then it's like and then you read the code, then it's it's like it makes more sense to find bugs.
Okay.
So talking about DeFi, see, DeFi is a subset. It's like one, it's like one application of smart contracts. So
Yeah.
people write, it's like a decentralized finance application, DeFi applications,
Yeah.
or DEX, decentralized exchanges
Yeah.
where you can like swap tokens on chain. So they are written on same chain. It's like it may be on Solana, it may be on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the chain, it's like yes, their finance knowledge is important.
Yeah.
Reason being that it again comes back to the core concept of understanding business logic. For example, it's like for example, when I was working at Deriv, it was an options trading company.
Yeah.
So to find in their when I'm talking about core platform, it's like their trading platform, I need to understand how options trading work. It's
Hmm.
like
Of course.
so same thing. It's like if you are it's like if you are finding bugs in a DeFi platform, you
Yeah.
need to understand the finance behind it. It's like how market making works, how
Hmm.
it's like from where they are it's like bringing the liquidity, how liquidity works, how it's like I mean, it's like there are other concepts as well. It's like how I mean, it's like people lend and borrow, so how lending and borrowing work, how commissions work. So once you check that, it's like and then it's like you find bugs, business logic bugs.
Yeah.
Same like if like for example, if you talk about DEX, so it's a decentralized exchange, right?
Exchange.
It's like so you need to understand how exchange works, how trading works, how leverage works.
Hmm.
So if you know these concepts, it's like
It's like a
it's just
domain. It's like a separate department, isn't
it's
it?
it's just a business logic. That's
Yes.
it. I mean, it's a
Okay.
business logic. DeFi is a complex business logic. That's why it is suggested that you should know about it's like a bit about finance and how
Okay.
things work. So
So, for example,
yeah,
you do smart contract audits, right?
yeah,
So, so there is, I mean, if a client comes and they do have an idea and they wanted to make a smart contract, so
yeah,
someone has to build it,
yeah,
right? So when someone has to build it, they should have the knowledge of that particular domain.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay. So, for example, there is going to be a humongous change in the voting system. Say, for example, there cannot be a chance of rigging or something like that. So, they'll ask you to develop this smart contract. Okay. Or something on any platform on blockchain. Okay. Then the person who is going to do that, if he doesn't have any knowledge, he has to learn that,
yeah, exactly.
isn't it?
And same goes for the audits. So
Yeah. If you are
when
going to audit
you should,
something, then
yeah,
you should have the
exactly,
knowledge. So get the
exactly.
knowledge.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's how it works. It's ultimately it narrows down to the same concept of understanding the business logic. And for that, the best thing you need to do is, whatever it is, go for the documentation. There is
Okay,
documentation
so
always
the client
available.
will help you for knowledge sharing and all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just ask for the documentation,
Uh-huh.
understand each and every logic, and then ultimately it goes back to your it's like knowledge into security, that how you
Okay.
you find bugs, how you approach for a bug.
Uh,
So I mean, it's like for people who are not into security, who are listening this and who are into suppose programming.
uh-huh.
So it's like when you go to college or it's like school or wherever, it's like your computer teacher, whatever your computer science teacher will ask you to write codes,
Hmm.
which maybe it can be a calculator or maybe it's like algorithms, whatever. So the reason they are asking you to do a set of problems is because they it's like nobody teaches you C++. It's like I mean, it's like nobody teaches you Python specifically. If you learn one programming language, it's it's like if you have learned it properly, one programming language, a good teacher will always teach you the logic, how to apply the logic, how to
Yeah.
write the code. Same thing applies for security. It's like you learn uh, the approach to find bugs. Like
Okay.
as a programmer, as a developer, you learn an approach to build things. Here you learn an approach to find bugs,
But
how to break things.
okay.
So it's completely at the end, it's an approach. So if you see it's like who is a very good developer, if you go to any company, it's like most companies, it's like they will interview, they'll say, it's like you can solve the question in any programming language you are
Yeah.
comfortable with. The reason behind that is companies check that how do you write the logic,
Logic.
because it is very easy to migrate it to any. Suppose in your previous company you worked as a developer in Java,
Uh-huh.
now they are expecting C++.
Okay.
You can do that. It's not a big deal. It's just
So
syntaxes. So
it,
same thing goes with security.
okay.
If you know the logic, it's like if you have the patience and capability to understand the business logic
Okay.
and then find the bugs, it's like you will always end up finding bugs.
Okay. So since you were talking about programming languages and one who wanted to get into Web3, so what do you suggest? Which programming language does it?
Solidity is the best thing to start with.
Okay. So guys, learn Solidity right away.
There are a lot of contracts written in Viper as well,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, it's like I didn't don't see much adoption of that.
Mhm.
But again, if you know Solidity, it's like even you can do Viper. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So, Shashank, there is blockchain and there is Ethereum and it is new. Okay. The framework is new. So, and it works on proof of stake concept. So, do you think there can be, I mean, this will emerge and there can be another framework which will beat Ethereum kind of?
Um, well, see, um, I mean, it's hard to answer this one. So, see, when proof of work came in, when
Yeah,
blockchain came into
blockchain is.
proof of work, yeah, it was very much appreciated.
Yes.
It has its a lot of pros, a lot of cons as well, because it was not energy efficient. But the energy efficiency things and all started coming in 2020.
Mm.
When it was started in 2008, it was found to be amazing.
Yes, amazing. It was amazing.
So technology changes with time,
Yeah,
right? So right now, even with then Ethereum moved to proof of stake,
yeah.
and then it's like people are coming with options of sharding and everything, like what Ethereum is, it's
Mm.
like the ultimate goal is they will build, make it sharding, and so make it scalable and everything.
Okay.
So ideally, what happens is, like, even proof of work went through a lot of changes and optimizations.
Hmm.
So right now, proof of stake is adopted majorly,
Yeah.
and a lot of changes are going on. Maybe in future, maybe 15 years later, someone comes up with something which is more scalable and better than proof of stake.
Stake. Uh-huh.
Maybe then there might be a shift, or maybe not.
Okay.
It's like maybe proof of work, proof of stake will have optimizations and it will work properly.
So, is there any alternative currently which is not that popular?
uh, it's not something I have seen,
Uh-huh.
because proof of it's like stake has been it's like
Tremendous.
the major adoption and
Okay.
majorly accepted right now.
Okay.
But if you talk about long term future,
Okay.
nobody
No,
knows.
of course, no one knows. So,
Yeah.
when you say proof of stake, what does it involve? It involves machine address or IP address? Or what
No.
is it binded with? The power consumption?
No, it's not binded with power consumption. So
No.
see, proof of work required, it's like, I'm not going into very
Yeah,
details
yeah.
how proof of work means. It's a you can read it online. It's like there are
Yeah.
tons of videos on that.
Yeah.
So basically, in short, proof of work, how it worked was, it's like you had a heavy machine which did, it's like it's like the uh, uh, what do you say? It's like it's called a hash finding method.
Yes.
They used to find a hash, which required huge computation, and the basic idea was, like, if too many people are, it's like mining. The concept was called as mining. If too
Yes.
many people are mining, then Bitcoin had an algorithm that the difficulty of mining would rise, so
Yes.
that like there is not just it's like if less people are mining, then you mine it faster. If there
Yeah.
are more people, then it becomes complex, so
Yeah.
that a single person doesn't have it's like the entire holding. That was the it's like
Yeah.
to handle inflation and everything. So but again, the talk about energy it's like consumption and everything started taking place. So proof of stake came into place, where so what happened in proof of work is, like, when it's like when you are pooling resources,
Yeah.
and it's like you are trying to find a block
Yeah.
on blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
which rewards you right now. I think it's 6.25 Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
So if you find one block, you get 6.25 Bitcoins.
Okay.
So that was the method of validation of transaction and generation of new Bitcoin. So that part was called like creating a node. It's like you are running a node, you are mining, and on top of that you are mining. So what happened with Ethereum is that it's the right now it's with Ethereum, it is like, if you have 32 ether,
Uh-huh.
you put it on staking, so you
Uh-huh.
form one node,
Okay.
and then it's like you are a validator now. So the more number of 32 into ETH you have,
Yeah.
it's like the faster you will be, it's like the more rewards you will be getting.
Yeah.
So now you don't need energy. All you need is it's like a number of it's like ether, which you put it for staking, and it's like you run your node.
Mm-hmm.
So how it works is, like, if you're it's like, I'm just giving a high level
Yeah,
view.
I understand.
uh, how it works is, like, it's like you put your node online, you stake your 32 ethers
Yeah.
minimum,
Yeah.
and it's like it will be put to work, and you start receiving it's like incentives.
Yeah.
But if your server shutdowns, something happens, you get penalized. It's like it's like you will have, that's called slashing. That concept is called
Yeah,
slashing.
slashing.
So it's like you will lose some part of your ether. So it makes equally responsible, that you don't just it's like create a problem for the network by shutting down and not validating transaction.
Okay.
And you're also incentivized if you are doing the work properly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like that's the whole concept. So I mean, it's like proof of it's like stake is
Stake.
more energy efficient.
Energy
You don't
efficient.
have to run a heavy machine or do heavy electrical works. You can
Mm.
like start your node on a Arduino chip as well.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
was the case previously
yeah,
before. So, Shashank, just the question out of your entire explanation that was overwhelming actually. So,
yeah.
when you were saying a node, okay, so I heard that one can become a node provider. Is that possible? Can my laptop be a node as well?
Yes, yes. I mean, that's the concept of decentralization. So,
Yeah.
it's like when you are hosting a node, basically you can choose to validate all the transactions, whatever transaction happening, you are validating everything.
Hmm.
Plus, and how you're doing that is like you have set of all the it's like transactions as well. So when you host a node, what you have is like you have a set of all the transactions from zero till date,
Okay.
and you have a entire copy of blockchain. So imagine it's like how I explain this to people is why it's like why blockchain is a beautiful concept.
Yeah.
For example, it's like let's talk about Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
So suppose it's like you go to a bank, uh, and it's like there are three people in a village, A, B, and C. A has 100 rupees, B has 100 rupees, C has 100 rupees, and it's like it's mentioned in the bank register that okay, A has 100, B has 100, C has 100.
Okay.
Now A does a transaction of 50 rupees to B, so
Okay.
they will update. The bank will update that it's like A now has 50, B has 150, C has 100. But again, the point here is you are trusting a bank, you are trusting a central authority.
Yes.
So right now we have seen what has happened with US banks.
Of
It's
course.
like they have defaulted. It's like money made out of thin air.
Yeah.
So this is the problem. It's like blockchain is trying to solve that. Banks have been found. Have been accused of. It's like having. It's like
Everything
liabilities.
under control at one place.
So it's more about having liabilities more than
Liable.
assets,
Yeah.
because
True.
till people are not withdrawing, people don't know.
Yeah.
So for example, it's like the bank right now with ABC, they have 300,
Hmm.
and they lend it 300 to someone, and suppose bank is not getting the money back for some reason right now, but they are just banking on the reason that A and B and C doesn't withdraw. If
Yeah.
they ask for withdrawing, the bank is done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like they have defaulted. So, and there is no way A, B, and C knows, their deposits are safe or not.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Bitcoin. How it works is like A, B, and C has one Bitcoin each.
Okay.
So, and now A transfers zero point 0.5 BTC to B. So
Okay.
now B has 1.5, A has 1, and C has 1,
Yeah.
right? But now this is visible to everyone because one copy of the ledger is with A,
Yeah.
one copy of ledger is with B, and one copy of the ledger is with C.
Mm.
So if B claims that no, I don't have 1.5 Bitcoin, I
Mm.
have two Bitcoins,
Hmm.
that will be invalidated because A has a ledger which says B has 1.5 and I have zero point 0.5, and even C can also validate that. Now let's take this to the global concept. There
Yeah.
are millions of people having a ledger. It's like they validate, they have a copy of transactions. So
Yeah.
one person, if I, it's like if I manipulate the blockchain, transaction and say that I have 10 Bitcoins,
Hmm.
there are millions of people saying that no,
Okay.
it's like we have a copy of transaction, you don't have that much money. So
Okay.
that's how, it's like it is reliable,
Yeah.
because uh, one person can default, one bank can default,
Huh.
but it's very hard that 1 million people will go rogue.
Of course. So when you say a million people and a blockchain, when you say, I take it as a group of machines all over the
Yeah,
world. Okay,
yeah,
so they are updating themselves whenever some transaction is being happened, right? So and you said banks, they are centralized repositories, right? So what do you think the future of banks if this gets fully operated?
See, a lot of it's like crypto maximalists would say, it's like bank will go down, blah
Uh,
blah blah, etc., etc. I have a very different opinion here.
Uh-huh.
See, with the concept of blockchain, it's like initially banks didn't care, it's like because there was not much adoption.
Yeah.
Now adoptions are started coming in, and you can see, a lot of banks are threatened.
Yes.
The governments are threatened. They
Yeah.
are asking banks to not deal with, it's like crypto
Crypto.
companies. They are like, even it happened in India as well. They try to shut down crypto operations,
Yes. Yes.
etc., etc.
True.
So the thing is, it's like now banks have a competition.
Huh. Finally.
When there is a competition, it's like there is a scope of improvement.
Yes.
So and the best part about competition is, like, if you either you improve or you die.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like and see, I mean, banks are not that bad as
Yeah.
well. Okay, so they have been working. Yes,
Of
there
course.
are problems which needs a solution,
Fully.
and for that, when you have a competition,
That's our better.
you try to be better,
Better.
because it's like
Better security.
it's a
Better
business.
reliability.
So it's like maybe in later future banks will move to, it's like a more decentralized approach, or
Maybe.
maybe
Maybe.
more transparent approach.
Hope so.
Even if not decentralized, I'm not saying like, bank will start
At
using
least they'll be
AI
secure.
in the future. Nobody knows what happens,
Yeah.
but they will be more transparent, because now people will ask
Yes.
questions. It's like the SVB bank failure.
Yeah.
Now startups will start questioning banks that, it's like, our current bank defaulted.
Yeah.
How can I trust you? It's like, how can I trust you with the money? And more of these questions will start to arise.
Okay.
Banks will be compelled to, it's like, be more transparent about the funds, how they
Okay.
are, it's like involved with the funds, how it is working. The audits, bank audits would be more transparent, etc., etc. So till like 10 years back or 20 years back, nobody questioned the banks.
Of course.
Now questions have started arising.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
That's the advancement finally, right? So, but when we are talking about advancement, how advanced is Web3? Do you think? For example, you know Web3, I don't know Web2. So, do you consider me as ancient?
No, see, Web3 is really very raw right now.
Uh,
Okay, so it needs a lot of development, and needs a lot of advancement. It is promising, and it will be the future. I believe the same. There are a
mm,
lot of people who don't believe. There are people who believe.
mm,
You don't know what is going to happen in the future,
yeah,
right? But it is a promising technology. The only thing is, it will grow,
mm,
and it doesn't happen in a single day. So I mean, it's like, you're not ancient. Definitely, Web2 is also going to stay for a long time, and eventually, it's like people are working on the tech. So even Web3 will become much easier to use.
okay,
It's like people will come out with ways to make it easier for, it's like other people to use. For example, if you talk about, it's like phones. It's like now phones are very easy to use as well. It's like people are getting comfortable with that. It's like initially you had to type in your keypad.
true,
Now
true.
it's like
Smart everything.
autocomplete, and even swiping and everything. So people come up with things which makes it easier for other people to use. They come up with
True.
better UI, better, it's like straightforward
Now this
technology.
video call.
Yeah.
So this will get advanced, like it will get into metaverse, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is possibly true,
uh,
because, it's like, if you can see with the world of Insta and everything,
uh,
now people kind of have two lives. There is one life where it's completely digital, and then one life there is personal life, and there may or may not be any correlation between that. That's a hard fact,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, it's like, I see a future with, it's like since work from home is coming in,
Mhm.
people, it's hard to go to office. Especially I live in Bangalore. It's hard to travel anywhere.
Oh, you
So
you you live in Bangalore. Are you from Bangalore?
no, I'm not from Bangalore,
You're
but
from
I live here. I was born and brought up in Bihar.
in Bihar.
Then,
Okay, okay.
yeah, then I moved to Delhi.
Okay.
Then I was 1 year in Rajasthan, then Tamil Nadu. Now, finally, from past 5 years in Bihar, in Bangalore.
Okay, so I've covered almost every city in India.
It means like, I mean, that has been the case.
So,
Finding my best fit, and I
so
love Bangalore, so I'll be
yeah, that's
here.
what I was about to ask. How does Bangalore feels and all? The weather and all?
I mean, it's like, I've been working from home from the beginning.
Uh,
So the only complaint what people have about traffic,
yeah,
I don't have to
true.
complain about.
You will never have that now.
I mean, my previous job was also work from home. Right
Okay,
now, also work from home.
that's
So I mean, it's
pretty.
like, yeah, I see a possibility here. It's like team meetings. which used to happen face to face. Maybe it can, it's like suppose you have all your VR headsets
Yeah,
and you
moving ahead, I was
you
about to
put
tell
on
you.
that, you appear to a virtual, it's like a very
True.
beautiful virtual,
World.
workroom where which you didn't pay
Yeah,
actually.
you need
It's
not
like,
pay.
and then you have everyone in front of you. You make conversations. You end the meeting. Go back to your rooms. I
I
mean,
got this funny thing in my mind that our avatars can wear anything, and which you have to buy online, in NFTs especially. So recently, someone has bought this Nike shoes, which are very expensive, and he cannot wear that. His avatar will wear that. So isn't it? So that's
see,
how.
I mean, that's not a new thing actually. People are sometimes amused at why, it's like NFT, people buy NFT for crazy shit money, it's like it's whole loads of money.
Yeah,
Why people do that? But if you go back to the, it's like, go back to basics, that has already happened. Didn't, it's like rich people buy expensive paintings. I mean, it's like,
oh,
and when you buy paintings, I mean, see, there are a lot of artists, in the world
yeah,
who can do really good paintings.
yeah,
But rich people buy paintings of what? Famous people
yes,
and famous
yeah,
artists.
yeah.
So
Because
that
over
narrows
the
down,
years,
that narrows down to the
their
same thing.
value and
Yeah, that narrows down to the same thing. It's like Bored Apes was sold for crazy money, and
yeah,
people say, yeah, like why people are buying monkeys. So I mean, what difference does it make? People are ready to pay for its value, and that has been for the painting as well. Like any
true.
piece of artwork, any paintings. I mean, again, people did, but at the end, it is just a painting, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's like what the reason it has a value is because maybe its artist was a very famous one.
yeah,
It had some controversy or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
There has to be some it's like something behind a story behind
yeah,
that, which makes it valuable, right? At the end, if you narrow it down, it's just a painting with some colors,
yeah.
right? Same thing happened with NFTs now, but if you see, it's a better form. With paintings, you could not figure out if it's a fake painting or not. It's a real painting. Mona
Hmm.
Lisa painting was sold to many people, which were
Yeah,
fake.
yeah, yeah.
But
True,
here,
true.
at least at blockchain, you can verify that
Yeah,
this is the authentic thing I own. So
that there is a reliability, no?
yeah.
There is a
So
belief system.
if you narrow it down, it's like it was already happening in the real world. It's nothing new. It's just more
It's just
adopted.
virtual now.
It's virtual and it has more adoptions. People did had collectibles
Yeah.
before. They are having a digital. So at the end, why did rich people buy paintings? It was to show off that okay,
Of
they have
course,
this
so.
prized possession. And now it's like you can do it through blockchain, which is you can show off more
Yeah,
actually.
more
You can
actually.
easily purchase. You don't have to fly to like some country to get a
Yeah.
painting. You can just do it digitally. So
Now there will be like everyone cannot be in a virtual mode, so there will be only rich people, and can I can show up with my Nike shoes or my any hat or something, goggles.
exactly. And even if you talk about it's like virtual like Nike shoes, which you can wear in metaverse. If you compare that with gamers, the gamers have been crazy about skins, the in-game skins which
Yeah,
you have.
got
People
it. The skins,
pay
yeah,
a lot of money for
lot
that,
of money, yeah,
for what? Just to appear, it's
yeah,
like different
yes.
during a game. That is
Of course, that's
so
also a show of
there's
like
nothing new.
I'm a pro gamer,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
level is legendary.
Yeah, so there is nothing new. It's just it's like it's more affordable and more available now. That's it.
Whatever. That's crazy, is it? So, Shashank, but when you talk about security, okay, this all Web3 world, okay, what kind of vulnerabilities can be there? When you say Web2, I can straight away say that there can be XSS, there can be CSRF, blah, blah. But what about Web3? What kind of vulnerabilities do you get in Web3?
See, if you talk about Web3 vulnerability, the SWC list, which I
Yeah, yeah,
gave
yeah,
you,
you just show.
that's among the common vulnerabilities. Like one
Okay,
of the common vulnerability is it's like this reentrancy attack.
re-entrance
It's
attack.
like where the attacker re-enters and it's like executes a transaction again, making more money.
Mhm.
And there are flash loan attacks
Is
where
it
it's like
similar to no rate limit or kind of
no,
DOS?
it's. I mean, it's close to that. You can say it's
Okay.
basically what happens. It's like if a contract function,
Mm-hmm.
what it is doing is it's calling an external contract which is controlled by you.
Mm-hmm.
So you re-enter the contract and you it's like you keep the function in loop.
Mhm.
And it's like again, it's sometimes it narrows down again to it's like business logic vulnerability.
Okay.
Not every functions should stop reentrancy. It's like
Re-entrance.
especially if it's making an external call and then maybe doing a balance update later on top of that.
Oh,
Then it's like what you do is like you don't let the function move ahead to balance updation code. You
okay.
just keep withdrawing the money
Okay.
and exhaust the entire balance.
Okay.
So I mean, and then there are access control, which is in Web 2 as well. So in
Uh-huh.
Web 3 as well, it's like if you mess, if there is an admin functionality and you miss, it's like the only owner or maybe
Hmm.
missed add a validation that this function should only be called
Hmm.
by a certain
Hmm.
address, etc. Then it's like there is a access control bug, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's like again, it's like if you go to the SW3 SWC list, there are a list of common vulnerabilities,
Okay.
but majority of the bugs in smart contracts would be related to business logic, where you
Business
have to
logic.
understand the business,
Hmm.
especially talking about DeFi.
Hmm.
If you talk about DeFi, it has to be business logic, where
Okay.
you understand, the business logic, which
Okay.
varies from different companies to companies,
Okay.
what product they have built, and
Okay.
then it's like you can check if the logic is correctly implemented,
Okay.
or if the logic implemented is flawed and
Hmm.
someone can take advantage of it
Hmm.
and cause a financial loss. I mean, that's how it works.
Okay. So, Shashank, I do have this last question. When you say a blockchain is bulletproof, kind of, but whenever a node gets updated, other nodes will also be get updated, right? So, what if the smart contracts involve some external factors? Like, for
Okay.
example, there's a temperature change, or for example, um, you were talking about options trading. Okay, there is a change in the stock market. Okay, so it has to be updated in here. So how can you trust this relationship?
See, ideally, initially this was a problem in Web3 where since you don't, you cannot realize on, you have to realize on centralized
Yep.
source
Yep.
to get the data,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's like companies like Chainlink and Telor came in. So
Chain
what
link.
they are is,
Yeah.
what they do is they give you price feeds
Oh.
for but that is in a decentralized way. So
Uh-huh.
they have it's like their node operators act in a different way where they it's like they submit the data, and it is it's like in a decentralized manner. It is validated that okay, the price of Ethereum
Uh-huh.
is 2300 USD,
Okay.
and now this data is it's like handled and stored by Chainlink,
Mm-hmm.
and you can use Chainlinks, you can integrate Chainlink into your smart contract,
Uh-huh.
and then you can get the price feeds. So if you just go to Chainlink documentation, you will understand everything how it works. So it's called price oracles.
Okay.
So it will give
Oracles.
you, yeah,
Okay.
oracles, yes,
Right.
price oracles. So they will it's like they will give you the price feeds
Okay.
of everything, and that's something you can rely on.
But
Otherwise, if you just hard code the logic, like there had been a lot of hacks where what people did was assuming that smart
yeah.
stable coins are pegged to $1 value, so
Mm-hmm.
they hard coded the logic of $1. And when Luna, the UST collapsed,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of smart contracts got hacked, like DeFi protocol got hacked.
Okay.
What people did was, it's like the value of a UST depegged from $1 to zero point 0.5, zero point 0.4.
Okay.
But since the smart contract was not using price oracles for
Yeah.
hard coding the value,
Yeah.
it showed the conversion of $1.
Okay.
So what they did was they borrowed from a decentralized source
Okay.
where the price was zero point 0.5, zero point 0.4,
Uh-huh.
and they sold it
Solid.
one
Yeah.
for
Uh,
$1. See, that's one
th-
classic example of it's like
that's
business
really
logic.
a good example. That's a business logic error simply.
Exactly.
So,
So
but how reliable it can be the chaining, the oracles and all. Okay.
see, I mean, it's like there are ways, it's like when they send you the price feed,
Hmm.
uh, there are, it's like some people, configure it wrong, so it can,
Who's gonna validate
like
that?
they have their own validators. Like
Oh.
example, like in Ethereum, you have validators.
Hmm.
So there they have, their nodes work is to validate instead of like you validate transactions there, they validate price feeds there.
Okay.
So again, it's like a lot set of people are saying the price of Ethereum is 2300, and if I'm saying it's $1,
Yeah.
mine one doesn't get validated. It's the same concept
Okay.
eventually.
Okay. So like that. So, looking into all these things, the whole thing which we have talked about, I guess there will be hell lot of documentation work for all these things. Don't you think so?
Yeah, read all the documentation. That's very good thing.
I mean, as a company, you do have a company, so you should maybe you should maintain a hell lot of documentation, don't you think?
Yes, we have our own documentation as well. We read documentations, we label documentations. So yeah, I mean, it's like reading is something, it's like
You
it's in it.
you you have a smart contract product, okay, solidityscan.com. And
Yeah.
for example, there is some auditor who's going to audit your entire company, and he's going to validate how you people are going to operate. So don't you think you should be maintaining all this documentation up to date, up to work? So isn't that heavy? Don't you think?
See, it's like it's a continuous process. So for our product, the documentation we have, it's docs.solidityscan.com.
Okay,
So we just, it's like whenever we add a new feature or something like that, we update the documentation. And
okay,
anyways, documentation is just not about, it's like Web3. Just that since Web3 is a public thing, so all the documentations are public. If you go to any MNCs or if you work with any organization,
yeah,
their developers do maintain an internal doc
yeah,
because that's how it works. Like suppose I'm a developer, I'm working and I leave the job, the next person who comes in needs the doc to continue
yeah,
from where you started,
sure,
right?
understand. Yeah,
So documentation has always been there, and it's a good part of it's like a
okay,
development life cycle, that
okay.
you should document all the things so it doesn't waste a lot of time for it's like other people.
Okay, okay. So how long did it took to build a product like this when you have a proper understanding of it?
We have been building this for more than a year now.
Okay, okay.
And
So
now it's kind of a mature product, but I mean, it's like development never ends.
yes,
It's
yes,
like
of course.
if you go to any company, they have been building for 20 years, 30
Okay,
years. It's
okay,
always a continuous process. You have to keep updating.
okay.
You have to add more features with change in perception, change in business. You have to, it's like,
It keeps on growing, you're saying.
yeah,
So
it keeps,
how
it's
is
like
it going with your Credshields? Is it
it's
doing
going
good?
good. It's
Oh,
going good. I mean, it's like we are doing well. It's like our product has been appreciated a lot. A lot
oh,
of people have started using our product.
oh,
We are seeing a lot of paid signups.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's going good.
Awesome, awesome. So, Shashank, I can't thank you enough and I can't congratulate you enough because you have been working so hard. I can say a decade or so, more than a decade. You have been, I don't think it can be done within a year or two. The way you've improved. Many people know the following you do have. And thank you so much for accepting and coming to our channel. And you've shared a lot of resources. Maybe even myself, I have to go through this video again and again to understand what you've just said. I hope the same goes with everyone over here. So thank you
Yeah,
so much, Shashank. Thank you so much
thank you
for
so much.
that. Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.